Good morning, beautiful people. Let me not even pretend that I'm awake right now. Oh my God, the dreams I had last night. Whew. Oh my God, it was so weird. I still can't even comprehend it. I mean, I know where I was. I just don't know why in that dream. Anyway, I'm tired. Good morning. I want to give a beautiful shout out to Leslie. She's awesome. She's awesome. She's awesome. Because when I did open my eyes this morning officially, my first thought was Summer. What do we know? Did anybody find Summer? I went to YouTube first because I don't like the media. I mean, y'all forgive me. It's not that I hate the media, but I mean, as far as like personally, the reporters, but I don't check the news. I check YouTube first. And then I'll go and see what the news said too. I know that may be a little strange for some people, but that's how I do it. And then I put it together. And anyway, I didn't see anything. And I was down about that for a second. And then I noticed that I had 5 missed calls, which people know not to call my phone. I'm not a phone person and I don't answer anyway. So I just text, if anything. All the talking I do is pretty much here on a video or to my son. It's not really, I'm not a phone person. I've worked on the phone for years, so it's not my thing. Anyway, 5 missed calls, and one of them was from Harrison. Um, uh, Let me just look at it, because seriously, my brain right now. The other one was from my webinar for my passive income, which I love. So that's what you might hear real quick in the background, because the phone is close to the computer. But let's go to missed calls. Harris County. I'm starting to mix up my counties, y'all. It's too much. Too many babies. Too many lives. Harris County. So my eyes got wider, and I'm like, oh God, which one? Who? It was an update on Teresa Balboa. That's the Samuel Olson case, also in Texas. And it was just a notification that she's going back to court on the 24th. So I'll check into her records and get an update on that later today. But the other thing was a couple of emails from Leslie, who's awesome again. And no, Leslie, I don't mind at all if you send me these things. Absolutely not. I say it a lot. Sharing is caring and it spreads awareness. And I mean that. If we get all the information and keep it to ourselves, then no one will know. And what's the point of that, you know? Sorry, I was just trying to get it ready. But this is what she sent me. And it turns out they had another vigil, which I'm very happy because I haven't been able to watch the vigil on my own. I only saw it through the live and the screen is smaller. So I wanted to see it up close. And I was driving too, but I remember telling my son, like, I'm listening to it. And I'm like, that's the vigil? Like, I'm waiting on the vigil. Did the vigil start? Seriously, like, it was the weirdest, quietest vigil I ever heard. But again, I wasn't looking at my screen, so I'm not really sure what was happening. I heard Dad was there with I think a brother. I was trying to listen, but I was also focused on the road. Anyway, this is way better to see the turnout. It's interesting that the church is very, very involved. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Amen for that. Yet interesting. So let's check them out. The whole world in his hands. He's got his precious little son in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got his precious little son in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got his precious little son in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. It is interesting. That is interesting. But yes, he does have the whole world in his hands. He's got me and you, brother, in his hands. Amen. This looks like just a photo. But it does say Summer's mother, father, and brother are in attendance at the prayer vigil this morning. Oh, it's WJHL. Maybe this does take us somewhere. Let's click. We gotta click. Just a photo. A really big one. Mom is there. She looks very torn up. Dad doesn't look happy at all. Sorry, I was trying to make that bigger. Let's see, I gotta leave Twitter and what you call it alone because I don't know how to work them apparently. Twitter and oh my God, you get it together. All right, so this is what I do when I get it all. There we go. Sorry, adjust your eyes again, everyone. And let's just look. I was trying to zoom in on the family. That little boy on the left is, I mean, everybody's hurt, right? But what happened? And I understand why people feel, like sympathy or empathy for, especially the father. He has a very strong, solemn face when he's showing it. And that's fine. I get that. I do. And I felt it before when I've seen him, but I'm torn at times. But as I mentioned on Molly Go Lightly, when Laura and I were having our conversation, if any of them know who did this or what happened, anything about it, they're guilty. And guilt can also look like this. I hope, and I say this lightly, I hope this is pain we see and not guilt. Just pain for a missing girl, but we have to at least remember the story that transformed, not changed a little bit. It transformed multiple times. So I can't help but see past this sadness and also remember that it could be guilt. I mean, I'd be devastated if something happened to my son, but I'd be, oof, leveled if I knew something and didn't say something. Man, I'd probably cry even harder knowing that I'm withholding something like that. So it could be either way. And again, everybody's entitled to their opinion, whether someone else likes it or not. And I am okay with you having your opinion, whoever you are. My thing is and always will be just don't try to give me mine. You don't ever tell someone what they should think, what they should feel. You just state how you feel about it. That's my perspective. So, and I do want to highlight yesterday a little bit because I want everybody to know I really wasn't getting personal if it seemed that way. I don't do personal here. Not like this. Now, if I tell you XOXO or I got much love for you or send you light and love, like that's personal. I'm sending my love. But if we're debating because you feel different, I'm not going to be angry at you. That's crazy. Neither one of us know what the hell we're really talking about. So why would I do that? But it is frustrating if someone tells me how to I should think or feel. I'll shut that down in a heartbeat. No one has that right. And no one should tell you how to think or feel either. So I do understand and I see it and I empathize to a certain degree because I can't imagine this pain of either way, losing someone or hiding a fact, concealing it. I don't understand that. I have to put myself in the minds of those things because I would never do either to my baby. I wouldn't hide it. I wouldn't do it. And I believe that if something happened to him, as foggy as my memory may be, as much as they might grill me in the interrogation room, the basis of my story is going to stay the same because I'm telling the damn truth. I won't start to imagine flower beds and basements and grandmas. You know what I'm saying? I have to look at it both ways, especially from that way, because that's where my mind wants to focus. Because I've seen it too many times. Look at my playlist, y'all. And those are stories that were already in my heart and my mind and my life before I started sharing them on this channel. It's a hobby for me. I don't know. I'm just interested. And then once you get into it, you care. The Kanika Jenkins story really brought that out. I was already a CSI or oh God, what's my Navy one? Dang, it's too early. I can't remember all my shows, but I was, oh my God, I watched them all. FBI, CSI, NCIS, any of them, all of them. And I know they're TV shows, but there's a degree of reality there. Law and Order, there's a degree of reality there. But when the Kanika Jenkins situation happened, I heard about it and I kind of let it go. And then years later, and it's sad to say, but years later, I ran up on Trey Gang Production and I started listening. And I started seeing how it unraveled. And I got so involved. And I think it was over from there. I wanted to understand these murder mysteries. I don't like cold cases. I don't like bad policing, which I think that had something to do with that. You know, the crime scene was mishandled and everything. She didn't get this. She didn't get a helicopter and dogs. And I mean, I guess there was a dog. Did they bring a dog? Yeah, they had a dog, but didn't find a damn thing. I'm not going to even go there because I can talk about her all day, and I will another time. Hopefully, you guys were looking at the picture in the meantime. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you feel anything, because that's all we can do is think and feel. As my son said, put your thoughts out there. That's all we can do. All right, let's see now. Okay, because y'all know I got to navigate this. So Summer's father was speaking, but it's 22 seconds. It's, again, my issue with the media. Hopefully somebody has a longer clip of this because I know this man didn't stand up here and talk for only 22 seconds. Y'all know y'all could have gave us the whole vigil or hopefully it's his whole speech. Irritating before I even click on it. Well, let's see. Oh, I need to make it bigger. All right, Pops. We're listening.
Let us all give our lives to you, God. Every way. Help me carry my cross. Lord. Thank you, God, for everything. In Jesus Christ. Please answer this storm. She's been the light of my life. Let us all give our lives to you, God. Every way. Help me carry my cross. Lord. Thank you, God, for everything. In Jesus Christ. Please answer this storm. She's been the light of my life. Let us all give our lives to you, God. Every way. Help me carry my cross. Thank you, God, for everything. In Jesus Christ. Please answer this storm. She's been the light of my life.
I don't know.
Let us all give our lives to you, God. Every way. Help me carry my cross. Lord. Thank Thomas. Please also restore her. She's been the light of my life.
Very hard to hear. I heard Jesus Christ and I heard Summer, and I believe he says she's been the light of my life. Everybody kick in what you heard there because it was hard, very hard. The news. Let me see something. Let me see. Just real quick because I want to go back to my emails. The top story. Look at that. Look how far down I had to go. To hell with you guys. Excuse me. Not you guys, but the media. It should be the top story. These little 20-second clickbait clips. What is this? Somebody retweeted. 13 hours ago. Okay. There we go. I'm learning how to navigate some of these places I've never been. That was 11 hours ago. So where's the new one? Is it in here? Let me just click it. I think it's just a picture. See, Leslie, this is why I thank you kindly and why it's okay to send me stuff because it is hard to find this information when you're trying to put it all together. And we do it better together. Scroll on up. Internet. Let's see. So that means I gotta get my reading eyes together here. This is from June 18th, 11:35 p.m. I'm sorry, I'm trying to adjust this. I could let's just wait a moment. There we go. What is this? Unresponsive. We're going to wait. It's doing a lot right now, y'all. There we go.
Family. Many gathered today in Rogersville to pray, to sing. News Channel 11's Bianca Murray was at a vigil tonight. Bianca, we understand Summer's father and younger brother were there tonight.
Josh, that's correct. Her father and actually her older brother.
It's not me, y'all. Yeah, there's a lag in what I've already clicked.
Just a short while ago, as a church in Rogersville opened their doors to those who wish to pray for Summer's safe return.
I'm a new dad. I have a 1-year-old daughter.
Don't worry, I'll replay it once it's done with all this. I just don't want to mess with it now. It'll just make it worse. And y'all know I'm not going to stop and rewind anything. I'm going to keep this rolling. Raw and real. Here we go.
Life in peril, and
oh, Tiffany Marie, my son in this new gaming laptop. He's draining my data too. Please help. I know that's what it is because it buffers, but not like this. He just got a new like super speed computer that he earned for himself.
the help.
Several community members joined the impromptu prayer vigil, some lighting candles and others kneeling in prayer. Summer's dad, Donald Wells, also joined.
She loves a lot of people, and a lot of people love her. We really appreciate what they've done. There's hundreds and hundreds of people out there, and they're trying their best to find her, and we really appreciate them very much.
He recalled the moment of terror he found out his daughter was missing.
And I come from work and drove home as fast as I possibly could and drove to the bottom of our property, and I seen my boys here walking around and my neighbors all looking and searching, and I knew right then that she was gone. because she don't never leave the property by herself anyway.
And the search for Summer continues.
We pray that Summer is found safe. We pray for the family, for comfort for them to know that God is in control. And we also pray for all of the men and women who are working so hard to find her, find out anything they can, and be with them and keep them safe as they continue to search.
Don Wells told me this evening that he just wants his daughter back home and safe. Reporting live from the scene on Beach Creek Road, I'm Bianca Murray for News Channel 11.
If you have any information pertaining to Summer Wells' whereabouts, call 1-800-TBI-FIND. We have put that number. Also an email address where you can send in tips on WJHL.com.
So, just the screen. Uh-oh. Okay, girl. All right, let's scroll on. Rogersville, Tennessee. A Rogersville church opened its doors Friday evening for those wanting to pray for Summer Wells, the Hawkins County 5-year-old who has been missing since Tuesday evening. Several community members joined in the impromptu prayer vigil, some lighting candles and others kneeling in prayer at the Rogersville First Methodist Church. And then we had the gentleman that said, I'm a new dad. I have a 1-year-old daughter. Wait, I gotta bring her picture up more. There you go, baby. Get all the screen. Just for you. I'm a new dad. I have a 1-year-old daughter. You know, to see a young life in peril and just a community that wants to help, said Brett Trent, the church's music director. I just read that exactly like it was written, you guys. Summer's father, Donald Wells, and brother were also in attendance. We really appreciate what they've done. There's hundreds and hundreds of people that are trying their best to find her, and we really appreciate them very much, Donald Wells said. That is the beautiful Summer Wells. Eyes that could light up the world. Look at that. Beautiful blue eyes, too. I'd like to know what day this was taken. I would. If anybody already knows, let me know, please. It'll save me some research because I do really want to know for my own reasons. He recalled that moment when he found out his daughter was missing. Again, that's a very, very clickbaity line. He didn't. Because I remember hearing that last night. I told my sons, shh, be quiet, be quiet. I need to hear this. And then he talks about when he drove home as fast as he could and everything. For me, that meant he was going to really explain the moment. But here's what he said. That's just a personal thought there. He said, I drove home as fast as possible, drove to the bottom of our property, Donald Wells said. I seen my boys here walking around and my neighbors all looking and searching. And I knew right then and there she was gone because she don't ever leave the property. By herself, anyway. To me, I just wanted to hear the moment you found out was when your wife called you at work. So you start there. Okay, my wife called me. You know? Yeah, fill in all the blanks. But it starts with the moment he found out. Otherwise, I just may have said he recalled, his drive home and what he saw when he got there. Because he really didn't talk about the moment. And I would like that because I need to know, did she call you and you told her to call 911 and then you called anyway? Like, correct your statements. Don't just keep letting the story change and not addressing it. That's not good. But anyway, I do believe he drove home as fast as he possibly could, or he drove home. I don't know from where. I'm sure they alibied him, said he was working. I seen my boys. The boys makes me think of Monica, but I'm thinking it's just a southern term, maybe. It also seems like something you say when you got a little clan, you know. And why are we talking about, the boys? We keep pointing out the boys were on the internet. The boys were walking around. The extra info makes me wonder. Neighbors all looking and searching, and I knew right then and there she was gone. Hopefully he just means not in this area, because she would never leave the property, at least by herself. See that statement? That was previous to this. The search for Summer will continue Saturday. We pray that Summer is found safe, Trent said. We pray for the family, for comfort, for them to know that God is in control. And we also pray for all of the men and women who are working so hard to find her, find out anything that can and be with them. I think he meant anything they can, but it says anything that can and be with them and keep them safe as they continue to search. Amen. That's a great prayer, Trent. Officials announced Friday that additional resources have been brought in to assist in the search for Summer, including dive teams and urban search and rescue teams. Anyone with information on Summer's whereabouts is asked, begged, pleaded with to call. I added those words. 1-800-TBI FIND. 1-800-TBI-FIND. You can do it anonymously. We just want to know where she is. So, in looking at this, it just tells me that, again, the abduction theory is not being accepted by law enforcement, for sure. They're not telling us to be on the lookout in Utah as well. They're not expanding the search outside of this area. And they're starting to use the dive teams, which means they're thinking like some of us, get in that darn lake. The pictures at the lake are perplexing. And if we know this, you best believe the FBI does. If we hear this story transforming, you best believe the FBI does. And they're not going to tell us everything because they don't want to spook anybody who thinks that they're good. But they are far from dummies. They know. And they're not going to say, oh, he's probably just nervous. That's why he said something different this time. They don't give you that kind of pass. Yeah, they put that eyebrow up and then they watch you until they have what they need and then they get you. And I, for one, appreciate that. 26 seconds ago. Well, okay. Let's go check it out, y'all. I'm awake now. Looks like we got 14 seconds. They better stop doing this. But this is some of the land, so that's on Facebook. I don't see my magnifying option there, so let me just do it like this. What are they showing us? I'm going to read more. It says read more. I love to read more. Is that a fire? There's smoke. They say where there's smoke, there's fire. All right. I'm going to click it, everybody. I know. I can't wait. This is where the lag comes. All this mess they have on their website.
Whether you want to build, buy, or upgrade your home,
ECU is by your side every step of the way.
so you can spend less time worrying about your home loans
And more time finding the perfect backyard.
home loans. It's what we do.
Go.
Well, as we've heard through this search, crews are facing a tough task with this terrain in the area.
Yeah, it's rough for sure. The TBI released aerial video of the home where Summer lived and the surrounding area to give you some perspective of what rescue personnel are dealing with as they continue to search for the child. They continue to show us these pictures of very dense brush and a hilly area combining for an extremely difficult search today.
The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation said they have received dozens of tips from the public since issuing this alert for Summer Wells.
And they revealed a bit more today into the massive search for the little girl involving law enforcement and rescue crews. Bianca Murray continues coverage with highlights from a news conference this afternoon. Bianca?
Josh and Sarah, authorities said today that while this is a search for Summer, it is also an investigation into what happened leading up to her disappearance. Authorities said all avenues are being explored. A spokesperson for the TBI said as of this afternoon, they've received 85 tips and all tips are being followed up. According to crews on the ground, search methods expanded today to offer a wider range. Churchill Rescue Squad's captain Tim Coop said over 100 trained professionals from over 40 agencies are working to find Summer Wells. New search methods were also added today to better sift through creeks and crevices around Ben Hill Road.
Dive teams, hazardous and extreme terrain search teams, subject matter experts. We have deployed the state TAC and radio system to increase radio coverage for search and law enforcement efforts. USAR, the urban search and rescue teams, and also have deployed state and federal resources.
As of Thursday, Coop says over 680 acres have been searched with the hope of having 1,000 acres searched by 8 p.m. tonight. As for the community, Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson today confirmed community members have consented to law enforcement searching their properties. He said no search warrant has been necessary in the search for Summer. Now, this is one of the radio signal boosters that officials mentioned today. They said the towers like this will help search crews be able to better communicate via radio. However, phone signal, cell phone signal that is still pretty bad. Reporting live from the scene in the Beach Creek community, I'm Bianca Murray for News Channel 11.
Well, as we've heard through this search, crews are facing a tough task with this terrain in the area.
Yeah, it's rough for sure. The TBI released aerial video of the home where Summer lived and the surrounding area to give you some perspective of what rescue personnel are dealing with as they continue to search for the child. They continue to show us these pictures of very dense brush and a hilly area combining for an extremely difficult search today.
The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation said they have received dozens of tips from the public since issuing this alert for Summer Wells.
And they revealed a bit more today into the massive search for the little girl involving law enforcement and rescue crews. Bianca Murray continues coverage with highlights from a news conference this afternoon. Bianca?
Josh and Sarah, authorities said today that while this is a search for Summer, it is also an investigation into what happened leading up to her disappearance. Authorities said all avenues are being explored. A spokesperson for the TBI said as of this afternoon, they've received 85 tips and all tips are being followed up. According to crews on the ground, search methods expanded today to offer a wider range. Churchill Rescue Squad's captain Tim Coop said over 100 trained professionals from over 40 agencies are working to find Summer Wells. New search methods were also added today to better sift through creeks and crevices around Ben Hill Road.
Dive teams, hazardous and extreme terrain search teams, subject matter experts. We have deployed the state TAC and radio system to increase radio coverage for search and law enforcement efforts. USAR, the urban search and rescue teams, and also have deployed state and federal resources.
As of Thursday, Coop says over 680 acres have been searched with the hope of having 1,000 acres searched by 8 p.m. tonight. As for the community, Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson today confirmed community members have consented to law enforcement searching their properties. He said no search warrant has been necessary in the search for Summer. Now, this is one of the radio signal boosters that officials mentioned today. They said the towers like this will help search crews be able to better communicate via radio. However, phone signal, cell phone signal that is still pretty bad. Reporting live from the scene in the Beach Creek community, I'm Bianca Marais for News Channel 11.
Thank you, Bianca. That cell phone problem, a major issue. If you have any information pertaining to Summer Wells, you're urged to call 1-800-TBI-FIND. You may email tips to the email address tips@tbi.tn.gov. We have that information on WJHL.com tonight as well.
I want to go to another place here really quickly, and then we're going to get to those emails because Leslie did send me a couple more. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do that first because it might be what I'm looking for anyway in my mind. When I see one thing, it just sends me to another and another, you guys. And since I work in real time, you guys get to see all of my brainstorming unravel in cyberspace. Let's read this. More resources have been brought in to assist in the search for missing Hawkins County 5-year-old Summer Wells. Officials said Friday that crews continue to search for Wells in the area around her home in the Beach Creek community. She was reported missing Tuesday evening by her parents, which led to an Amber Alert being issued Wednesday morning. When we talked to somebody she spoke to us about the Amber Alert going off Tuesday, and also Chris Thorns, and I believe that they both said it happened Tuesday night. But the media here is saying Wednesday. In either case, it went out, thank God. Among the new resources deployed, dive teams, hazardous and extreme terrain search teams, subject matter experts, state tactical radio system, and urban search and rescue teams. The search effort also includes more than 100 personnel, helicopters, fixed-wing aircraft, and canines. We want to get in there, flip every rock, check every crevice, check every spot, just to make sure we don't miss a spot, said Captain Tim Coop, Ground Search Incident Commander. Thank y'all so much for that. That's how you do it. Coop said search crews had covered 688 acres of ground so far and expect to have 1,000 acres covered by Friday night. The search effort now involves 41 agencies. We are still experiencing steep and dangerous terrain, which causes our teams to become exhausted very quick, Coop said. We are and will continue to work with and alongside local, state, and federal search and law enforcement agencies to locate Summer Wells, which is our ultimate mission to complete. We're with you there. All right, beautiful. Now, we saw this one yesterday. Let me see something. Don't tell me the time until I click it. Well, we might as well, but let me see. Let's keep reading first. Investigators had received 85 tips as of Friday afternoon and said the investigation into Wells' disappearance remained ongoing. Everything is on the table, Sheriff Ronnie Lawson said. We're trying to find exactly what happened to this young lady, and we're not going to stop until we find her. Yes, I remember that. Wells' parents are cooperating with law enforcement, according to Tennessee Bureau of Investigation spokesperson Leslie Earhart. Her father told News Channel 11 that he believes his daughter was taken. Well, Donnie boy, sorry, Donald, the cops don't think that. They are stressing that they are investigating how this happened and also where she is. So, they're just insinuating right now that they think something happened, but that's what I get out of it. We're exploring all avenues. So at this time, we can't confirm that. However, in the event that we do develop that information and confirm it was an abduction and have information to share, you will be the first to know, Earhart said during Friday's press conference. We want to reassure the community that we will let them know immediately. Earhart also encouraged people to avoid sharing speculation and rumors on social media. Yeah, that will not happen. That's okay. As long as y'all are on the ground doing what you do, social media can do what they do. I think it can be used for good or evil, so we need it. We need to leave it there and just sift through it. And believe me, they do that. The cops definitely do that. Balloons and flowers have been placed in this prayer garden in honor of the 5-year-old Summer Wells. The garden is located at a church near Summer's home. Aww, cute little garden. So I'm assuming there's stuff planted that will grow there. Oh my God, how beautiful. I hope she gets to see that. Don't forget the flowers in the chat for our garden for summer. Flowers, flowers, flowers for summer. It talks about the Amber Alert again for anybody who may have never seen anything on summer. Age 5, sex female, race white, hair blonde, eyes blue, height 3 feet, weight 40 pounds, missing from Rogersville, Tennessee, missing since June 15th, 2021. Anyone with information on her whereabouts is asked to contact the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office. I'm so sorry, you guys. I have so many notifications. Hawkins County Sheriff's Office at 423-272-7121 or the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. Don't say you don't have the number. We're all sharing that number. Just make the call. So let's see. I'd like to see that. Well, it got smaller. That's not what I wanted. But we got a couple of comments here, and I do find those interesting at times. So let's see. Why in the world can we not find this girl? I believe that there's more to the story than we know. Something is just not right. It seems that right off the bat, a lot of people want to bash and condemn the parents. We do not know that they're involved. As of now, they are going through hell. Hold your horses, people. Now the focus should be on finding this child. We don't know. Dawson Betty is right. But here's my frustration with this particular thought process. Just because we draw a conclusion based on people's suspect actions doesn't mean we're not searching for Summer. We are absolutely searching for Summer. And you have to sift through and figure out what happened in order to really find her. That's why even the cops, the law enforcement, as I just read, are not only searching for her, but also investigating what led up to her disappearance. You have to do both, Johnson Betty. We can't hold our horses. There's no time. We don't want to find her and then say, okay, God, it took 5 days to find her. Now let's go see what happened and who did. No, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. It all starts and runs simultaneously in my mind. I understand the thought process, but it doesn't work like that. Realistic. By the time we find her, they could have left states and hidden more evidence and all of that. You got to dig at the same time. And if they weren't changing their stories and mom wasn't hiding from the camera, we wouldn't have a reason to really suspect them, except for the fact that statistically, we know how these things go statistically, but we wouldn't be as hard on them. That's something they need to think about. They don't have to care. They don't have to care what we think, but if you know that the whole world is watching, show them what you need them to see, not the BS, not the gray area, because people are going to think something regardless. It's just the way it is. Just the way it is. So I would be the first to say, listen, let me clear this up right now. Let me let y'all know right now. Okay, my wife called me at work. I might have gotten some of the story wrong because I was frantic, I was driving, I was nervous, I was scared. But listen, to the best of my knowledge, this is what, you know what I mean? Like, show some passion and like desire to make sure that not us, but law enforcement knows exactly what happened. It's too much. They have to exhaust resources now to find out what happened going up the road, what happened in grandma's, what happened with the flower bed, what happened in the basement. You're giving them too many different things to look into. When you really want to find your baby, it's straight up no chaser. I know for a fact the last place he was in that basement. Please check there. And then they can expand all over the place, but give them what they need. That's all I'm saying. You hear your stories changing just like we do. Come back on and say, listen, there was some confusion. We were all a mess. But here's what's really going on. Here's what we know. Not to prove anything, but to help us find Summer. That's why it's so hard. We're everywhere, which makes the searchers and everybody have to spread themselves so thin. So get the story straight. And I love what one of the callers said last night. I was driving, so I couldn't chime in the way I wanted to. And I'm not going to touch on it because she told a personal story, and I'll leave it at that. But I will say this. She was explaining how you can be confused when you're interrogated. And I get that. Yeah, they're grilling you. They're grilling you. Yes, that makes sense. Especially if they have reason to believe you're not telling them the truth. They are going to twist it and stuff. Yeah, they want you to slip up. But as she said, you will get confused and you might mix up some details and the story won't be exactly the same, and it's understandable that it would change. I disagreed that it was understandable that it would keep transforming. I did, because as she later said, the truth don't change. And I thought it was like a conflicting statement, to be honest, but the bottom line is she was 5. So that's okay. You can have all the conflicting statements on earth at 5 years old. I will not penalize you for that. Ever. Ever. You're 5. But if you're 56, I just don't roll like that. My son is accountable and he's a young man, little man, a young man. He's not 56. And I tell him all the time, the reason why I make you accountable and have integrity and things right now is so that when you grow up, you'll have integrity and be accountable. And integrity means doing what's right even when no one's looking, right? So that means, okay, earlier in that news conference, I was kind of tripping, but now I've had some time to think about it, and I'd like to, as a matter of fact, Nicholas Husted, the father of Liam Husted, you guys know I always mix my cases a little bit because I wanna show. I talk about everybody. Everybody's important simultaneously, especially when I see patterns. Nicholas is the father of Liam, who was found on the side of the jogging path here in Nevada, and his mother is the accused killer. Nicholas had a vigil for his son, or attended one, and I didn't hear him say this, but I did see his the update last night. I read this, and he was correcting something or clarifying something he said initially. He was explaining why he had made a statement that Samantha was a good mom. He said that, I guess, initially, and you know how people are. What? Good moms don't do, don't do, don't do. And I agree. But he said, wait, hold up. Now, I wasn't meaning it like that. I'm like not happy at all that the person my son and I trusted did this. No, no, that person wasn't good. No, not her. I was saying that before her. You know what I mean? Like he clarified it. He wanted people to understand. No, 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 no. And that's for the sake of his baby. He's not out here trying to do it for the gram or nothing. It's what you do. And they could do that right now. Maybe she did do all those things that day. Take a walk, make a garden, play with her toys. Sounds like a normal day for a country kid to do a lot of different stuff. But make it make sense. And everybody come together and say it one time. Let's not hear random stories. I finally saw the Facebook post last night in one of the groups where the grandma was talking about her coming to get the candy. I know people can make fake Facebook pages. I don't know much about that, grandma. So I don't know. And I haven't heard that story mentioned by Dad. But it was weird to say the least. So clear it up. That's all I'm suggesting. Because you're not 5. So that means, as confused and frustrated and afraid as you are, you got to take a deep breath and man or woman up. Because that's what grown-ups do. And the truth, it doesn't change. Now you can forget, like I said in another video, you can mix up the color of her shirt, or whether she had shoes on or not, whether it was up or down. Little details, yes. Excuse me. But you don't insert grandma, flower beds, basement doors unlocked. You don't just keep doing that. It just takes us longer to get her to her garden. I really like this, and this is where I was actually going to go next. So I'm glad this is here. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, this is their motto: with truth, bravery, and integrity, we're proud to serve as the state's lead law enforcement agency so that guilt shall not escape nor innocence suffer. I love that. I love that. Shouts out to the TBI. And actually, that's what I was going to go look for. There's something else on their website too, but I saw the ending of that and I said, yes, I like that. I like that. But let me go back here because Leslie has been so good to me in sharing everything about summer, and anyone is welcome to send me facts. I don't like screenshots um, of like documents. That's the only thing. Please don't send me a screenshot of a document. I'd rather have the link and go get the paperwork myself because things can be doctored. Otherwise, I don't mind looking at Facebook clippings and things like that. It's something to ponder. It may not make it in a video because, I just don't post everything. I have to It has to make sense somewhat, at least enough to ponder it. And then we can talk about it and try to figure it out. But just like, you know what I mean, this straight up random BS. And I'll thank you, and I'll leave it at that. Now, who's to say what is what and which is which? So send on, and I'll be the deciding factor of if it makes into a video. I'm not judging anybody. That's my choice, and I got to be smart about it because this is my voice ultimately, and I share what I have a passion for and what I believe in. Leslie, how did you know this picture is perplexing me? Hmm, what day was this? Okay, she looks very peaceful. I will also say that. I'll leave it at that. Thinking of you. Beautiful. We are. We really are. Oh, look at that. I would love to go plant a flower there. I promise you guys that don't be surprised if in the future Hugh Carlock goes mobile. Because when I tell you I'm itching to get to a few of these places, I'm itching to get to a few of these places. Just I like to do my own walkthroughs. I like to feel and see and think through. That's all. I don't even have to talk to anybody. I will. If I see you, I will. Very politely and respectfully. I just got questions. I like to understand. I like to look people in their eyeballs. And I love the country. I miss the country. But I also want to go to Dallas right now. I want to go to Chicago right now. And not to kick it, especially Chicago. A little nervous about Chi-Town, but I need to go to the Crown Plaza. I need to walk through that hotel. I do. And I'm going to bet your bottom dollar you're going to hear about it one day. And not for YouTube. I mean, I'll share it, but I've been saying this for a long time. I'm so grateful that I was able to go to Amari Nicholson's vigil and memorial and the crime scene. As much as it hurts to be there, I mean, it's nothing like seeing it from that perspective. Same thing for Liam Houston when I went out to Mountain Springs. There's nothing like, God, just visualizing. Not the act of murder, the thought process of those who do it. That's just something that, I like to do. It helps me get a better understanding. Okay, this was the first one. The church. I just want to make sure I get them all and share them all with you. We saw the Father speaking. I think this is the. Oh, okay. Close your mouth. It's not that. Oh, these are the pictures. Okay. Okay, good. I'm on track. Next one here. All right, let's see. And Leslie has some thoughts. I'm going to read them. I hope that's okay. Leslie. WJHL news station talking about summer held a live this evening. I watched it here and some highlight. Oh, I'm sorry. I watched it. Here are some highlight areas. 511 shows a road, maybe the driveway. The dogs lost syntax? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Just a thought as it ends abruptly into the woods. Okay. Only about a dozen people showed up for vigil mentions at 6:53. Oh, they mentioned it. Okay. Yeah, I thought it sounded very quiet. Like I said, I was driving, but it was different. I felt more energy when I went out to Liam's vigil, or yeah, his memorial site, and no one was there with me. The energy was so strong. And Amari Nicholson, his vigil, his memorial vigil. Oh my God, the love was visible. People were visible, but it was just really, really silent, somber for summer, and that's okay. Just something I took note of. Dad did attend and talked to news reporters again. Again, that's what we just saw a clipping of. I know that I saw a 32-second clip where he talked a little more. We just saw a basic overview of that one just now. But good, it'll be here again. No one else from the family was present at the vigil. They recap a lot of what you already have shared, the Twitter photos. 2220 mentions that they are not aware of searches happening elsewhere, only at the family's property. Then they go into the weather. I love it. Are you going to open for me? There we go. See, sometimes you got to talk to it. That doesn't work, y'all. It just feels good to say. Mute it. Get it? Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, Josh Smith with you on a Friday night. We're live at just about 2 or 3 minutes after 10 p.m. on this Friday, and this is the 11 at 10. We build it, and I'm billing it as a special edition because we're going to hopefully be able to cover some of the latest ground on the ongoing big story for our region, and big story for a family, and big story for a little girl who is at the focus of an Amber Alert tonight. We're talking about the case of Summer Wells. We'll get to that in just a moment. We're welcoming your questions, and on the front end, I want to say that what my answers will be, and as my colleague Slater Teague is with me, our answers will really be focused on what we heard from authorities today, what we're seeing in social media from authorities tonight, and what we're going to be here, what we've heard from our reporters who've been at the scene throughout the day. So welcome in. I'm Josh Smith. This is the 11 at 10. We're going to talk about the Amber Alert coming up, some of the other top stories in our area tonight, and we are also happy to have with us tonight Storm Team 11 meteorologist Tyler Allender. How you doing, Tyler?
There you go. What's going on? This is official.
Is this official? Is this your first appearance here in the Digital Center?
It's like a whole nother world. Yes. Yes.
Well, I've seen the Weather Center. I mean, it's pretty snazzy, too. On our way back, we're going to fire up my favorite camera in the whole building, by the way. It's called the Slater camera. But while we have you here, and I've asked you to kind of come in early, but you're going to hang with us. For those who are here and have to bounce in a second, sum up the weather for the weekend and the next few days in just a few words.
Hot, more humid, and a chance of storms, especially toward the end of the weekend, beginning of next week.
Kind of taxing conditions and that we have heat and humidity for the crews out searching for summer.
Yeah, certainly they'll need to stay hydrated. So
okay, for sure. All right, thank you, Ty. I like your tie. Was that a contest tie?
Not this one. That was yesterday.
Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
Follow Tyler on Facebook. All right. Can we please see the Slater cam? Because I want you guys to meet tonight the man who's running the show. Every night when I do this, he slightly hates me even more.
Just a little.
Just a little by little. This is Slater Teague, our digital producer and the producer of this broadcast here tonight. And also, truly, in my opinion, one of the most knowledgeable news people in our market. And so we're going to be, you'll see me throughout the evening going, is that right, Slater?
And I'll say, I don't know.
I don't know. So, okay. Hang with us, Tyler. We'll come back to you in a moment if that's okay. Let's first off bring you up to speed. And maybe, Slater, we show the picture of Summer Wells because that is the most important thing we can do tonight. And that is, especially that image on the left, we think is really probably our best representation of Summer, who tonight remains the focus of an ongoing Amber Alert. And we welcome your questions about this case. I know some of you do have some questions and you want to know about it, or you want to sound off about it. You're welcome to do that. For some reason, yeah, Robin, this is about Summer, and that we are going to be bringing you up to speed on this. And if you do have questions or thoughts on this case, we'd love to share it, to try to react and give you our answers as best as we can. But again, here's what we know. Today, the Amber Alert is still active. This young lady was last seen. She's 5 years old. She was reported missing on Tuesday night. Sheriff Ronnie Lawson texted me and said, "Yep, we're searching, and we're looking for her in this general area, Ben Hill Road, which is very close to Sullivan County, on the Fall Branch kind of side of life." I think that's right. Mm-hmm. Along the southern part of the county, I think, is that of Hawkins County anyway,
yeah,
southeastern part of the county, very remote, and that was Tuesday night. By the end of the evening, late and early into Wednesday, it was an endangered child alert. On Wednesday, it became an Amber Alert, which is the highest alert level for the state. And now we are looking at Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 2 nights, full days after the Amber Alert. Wednesday, Thursday, actually 3 full days. So tonight she's still missing, and they called off the search around 8 o'clock. Now, some ask, why? Why would you do that? Well, they're still looking, and they're still taking tips, and they're still actively investigating, but they're dealing with the very practical reality that where they are searching is not a place where you can make a lot of ground in the middle of the night. Maybe we can look at the video that we got today from the search area, and this is just a rural area of Hawkins County, that's the Solomon I think it's Missionary Baptist Church. There on Ben Hill Road, this is an area that has become home to a home away from home for law enforcement, rescue, local, state, and federal. Today we learned more than 100 people, 41 agencies, different agencies. Just think about that. 41 different agencies represented there today in the search. And the sheriff and TBI both said all options about what happened to Summer are on the table, and they're looking at every single one of them. Notable, they also said today that there is in fact an ongoing level of cooperation between Summer and Summer's family and Summer's community there and law enforcement. And they were very specific in saying that they've not had to issue a search warrant yet, that everyone in that area has been willing to let them search their vehicles, their homes, whatever they needed. That's Mount Carmel Missionary Baptist. No, I don't think that's where the search is. It's called Solomon's, something like Solomon's Chapel, I believe. That's if it is Mount Carmel, forgive us, but that's not the information we've been receiving from the authorities. The name of the church had the word Solomon in it. Everyone here wants to say hello to you, Tyler. We'll be coming back to you in just a few moments, for sure. Let's real quickly look at, first off, I guess our website, where we're putting all the information here. We wanted to pull up a couple of tweets. First off, from Bianca Murray, who's there tonight. She spoke to some people who met at the Rogersville United Methodist Church, and they had a small prayer vigil. About a dozen people came, but notably, one of the people that came was Don Wells. And here's a video clip Bianca shared, in which he shared with her the moments that he found his daughter was missing. He said he was at work, his wife was at home, that Summer came in the house, went into the basement to play, went out a door, and that was the last she was seen. And so Donald Wells tonight, once again, sharing with us his account of what happened. You'll hear from him as part of our coverage at 11. Wanted to show you this as well. This is the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation's Twitter account, and they shared these pictures tonight. I think this was around 7 o'clock. This is an image that we haven't been able to independently get because they have really restricted the ability of news media to move into the area where the search is happening. But this is one of many people on the ground tonight, one of many dogs on the ground tonight that have been on the ground looking for Summer. Again, they called off the ground search around 8 when dark set in. Kingsport Water Rescue, they were on the scene. This is another photo, and this was significant because Earlier today, in a news conference that it happened around 2:30, we learned they brought in water rescue personnel. So you see a diver there. They said there were a lot of ponds in the area, a lot of ponds that were used for livestock, just naturally occurring ponds, and they were searching every single one of those. And as I looked at this picture today, I just thought, dear God, what a horrific process this must be for these people. You know, if you're in that pond and you're looking for that little girl, you're just hoping and praying you find nothing, right? And yet at the same time hoping and praying you find her. So just what that must be like. I was just struck by it. Where is the door located? Side, around the back? Shannon asks. Shannon, we don't know that. Now, the dad may have told Bianca that. I don't know the answer to that. But what we heard, and Slater, correct me if I'm wrong, was that the dad said she came in the house after working out in the yard planting flowers with a grandmother. The mom said that she came in, went down in the basement. Her brothers were in the house. She went down in the basement to play. There was apparently a door. They think she went out the door because when they came in to check on her, she was gone. Is that accurate as far as you can recall? Okay. I hope that makes sense. And Gwen asks a great question. Have they ever elaborated on what evidence led to the escalation to an Amber Alert? I don't think they have.
No, they just said that additional information. I don't think they've elaborated as to what additional information.
That's right. And that's a super question and a great one. You know, our ability to question authorities has been extremely limited. They'll literally a press conference and we're told you can ask one more question after they've answered several. So that's a great question, Gwen. And Liz asks a good question. Is the mother speaking? I will tell you in all full disclosure that I have been communicating some with the mom through Facebook. She reached out to me. And I don't think I'm the only one in terms of local news reporters. And it was my understanding at some point we were going to try to interview her today. That never happened. Because the last response was that we were trying to figure out a time, and it never worked out. So the hope continues that will still happen. But no, we have not yet had a chance to interview her.
I just want to pause there. I think that's worth noting. So mom sent a Facebook message to the reporter from WJHL. Just never got to set a time. I certainly hope, Candace, that you come on through with that. I do. Don't fall off now. It's good to know you reached out, but come on through.
But then they say at the beginning, Kia asks that something actually saw her walk out a door. I'm confused. Kia, I think you're not alone. And what we heard from the dad today seemed to. It didn't contradict as much as it was just a different perspective on what happened. I mean, before we'd heard she'd wandered off. She was last seen leaving the house, I think was what we'd heard. But then today we heard the father say that there was this instance in which she was potentially walking out from the basement. So the specifics on that, I don't really know. I don't know that it contradicts it as much as it sort of maybe elaborates upon it. And I hope that makes sense. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just telling you what we know. Have both parents taken lie detector tests? Wendy asks. I don't know the answer to that. Authorities have not said. You know, they want everyone to be very clear. They have two phases of this going on. One is a search, and one is an investigation into what happened. And they're talking about the search.
Real quick, I do want to just piggyback what he said. That makes sense. If it's a continuation of a story, again, clarification is all we're missing. If you're putting it all together, yes, she, I mean, damn. Makes sense, the perspective, not the story. That's all I wanted to say.
They're not really releasing a lot of information about the investigation, and that's standard because most agencies keep close to their chest the things that might, in fact, if it gets public, impede the investigation. So we don't know that. And I don't know if Bianca had a chance to ask that question of the dad. That would have been a great question for sure.
Slight update.
Yes, please.
That church that was in the video, the brick church, that is the Mount Carmel
missionary
church.
Okay.
The other one What'd you say it was named?
Solomon's Chapel. That's
I
where the
believe.
media had been staged. So forgive me. I appreciate the so that must be the command center. Then.
Yeah, it's the one on
Okay.
Beach Creek, and then the other one's the one at the head of Beach Creek where Blair's Gap is.
Gotcha. Okay.
I
Well,
also
thank you,
wanted
and
to
very much appreciate that. I think that was. I'm not.
For anybody who doesn't know, the staging area that they're talking about right now, Mount Carmel, it's 2 minutes away from their home. I mapped it last night just to let you know.
Sure who it was, if it was Will earlier, but I appreciate the clarification.
Ew.
Paul, leaving a child unattended, 5 years old. Wow. Well, part of this is what the dad said today was that she was actually with family and in the home with brothers, but went downstairs and they did not see where she went from there. So I have young ones, and there are times when they're somewhere in the house or somewhere in the yard, and I have to call them and ask where they are. Think of the times and so benefit of the doubt here. It sounds like that's what they're saying happened, was that there were people at the house. They just didn't have eye contact with her. She apparently, they're thinking, left. That's what they were saying, and that's all we know. Oh, Liz, what are some ways the story has changed that was presented by the family? I don't know that in Slater, I'm coming to Slater on this. I don't know that we can say, what just happened here? We just lost internet. Our internet's having some issues here tonight. Maybe we can share some video instead.
That might be better. So
Or the photo of her while we answer some questions. Okay. Dad on saying what he was told, he wasn't home, he said. True, Tammy. The father said he was at work, and what he heard was what the mother told him. And I imagine that's what we understand to be happening. As far as changed, I mean, I only know what we've been told by the father and what we've been told by the father, and that was in interviews that were conducted today on 2 occasions, and you've heard both of them. But prior to that, the only thing we'd heard was from authorities. Now, there have been a lot of stuff on social media, a lot of things on social media, and as far as that, we just aren't commenting on that or even reporting it because it's unsubstantiated, and we've been trying our best to keep this super clean in that we're going through authorities and taking what they're saying. So, you guys are maybe seeing some things on social media. It's not part of our reporting. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying we're limiting what we're reporting to people we can either directly interview or information from authorities or stuff that we can clarify and confirm.
Haley Reynolds asked, but I think it's a pretty good question.
Yeah.
She's asked why was there any reason why Summer was first reported as being 4 years old instead of 5? And we've seen that happen before, like Amber Alerts and Endangered Child Alerts. And I think it's just that initial information comes out, and then they, correct it a little bit later on.
That's exactly the case. And, we all then go to, well, I would never get my child's age wrong. And then you extrapolate a story from that. But we have to be extremely careful about that. Why? Because I've seen many cases where those extrapolated stories are not accurate. And so, a great point. And the same was true with her height. I know earlier we were reporting what we were told, which is that she was about a foot taller than she is. Guys, it was, moments, those first few moments of an Amber Alert are incredibly important, but they're also incredibly challenging when it comes to information. And that's why we just cannot listen to the noise, have to keep it focused. As stuff comes along, we change it. We have to. We have no choice. Has the baby been found safe? Tammy asks, no, not yet. And that's unfortunately the reality that we're dealing with tonight. Kel says, I absolutely love how the communities come together and we're all praying. That's the truth. And, in the midst of all of the division that we've seen, we can look at that little girl tonight and think, golly gee, so much of it doesn't matter. What matters is that she's not just found, but that she's safe and well and cared for and protected and loved. Pam, we've heard that. We have not been able to confirm that. But as Pam Atkins, I saw your question. Thank you. Have they searched the lake where they were swimming that day? Amanda asks. We know that today they brought in water rescue personnel or water search crews, and also something called USART, Urban Search and Rescue.
Right.
You were going to say something about the water rescue people.
Well, we saw in that photo, they were searching, it looked like it was very, very murky pond.
Can we go back to that? Is that possible? This was just the Twitter that we got today. I'll show you while we're here. This is the photo that Slater's mentioning. They were doing a lot of that today.
Yeah, and they did say today during the update that they've brought in these extra resources so they can make sure that no stone goes unturned, that every little spot is getting checked.
They even used the word every crevice. You could tell. This photo from TBI, this is at a nearby church where there is tonight they're calling it a prayer garden. And people are being invited to come and pray. To your point, Kel, thank you. Robin, the first story I heard from media was that the parents weren't even home. The grandmother was watching them, and she left to go on a walk, leaving the kids alone. Then came back and asked, okay, Robin, and thank you for sharing that. I don't know what media you heard, and I'm not doubting you did hear that, but I can only speak for what we reported, and that's not what we reported. The only thing we reported was what the authorities told us, and that's Hawkins County, and then eventually TBI, and that the girl was last seen wandering off from her home, walking off from her home without any shoes on. That's all we reported. That other stuff that you're talking about, I don't question that you heard that. It just wasn't from us, and so I really can't speak to it. And I hope that makes sense. David says something's not adding up. Paul, they do need to do further investigation. It seems like a lot of split ways coming out of mouths. Well, I can tell you this. There is absolutely every indication that there is an intense amount of interrogation and questioning and re-questioning and searching. The sheriff today said every individual involved has willingly has cooperated and has allowed them to search, we presume, cars and homes. They've not had to get a search warrant. He said these are consent searches. That's significant. A lot of times they have to go before a judge, get a warrant to search a home or a car. None of that. Everyone in the area has allowed them to search.
Star Maintenance asked a good question too. What can the public do to help?
Oh, that's a great question. You want to go back over to the page because you posted something on that, didn't you, Slater?
Yeah, I think Ben did.
Ben, it was down here. I'm going to look this way. Missing it.
It should still be down there.
Okay.
I think if you scroll up, it'll be up there. There it is.
Here's how you can help. Thank you. Okay, so I think I'm correct in saying that they do not want more volunteers to come.
They said they have enough. As far as people, they have enough people.
Right. As we load here, we're on the white screen. Friends, if you're tuning in, we're trying to bring an answer to a question from a viewer here. How can people assist?
And they also said, and I believe that part of the reason is because it's so remote, and if random people start searching, and if one of them gets misplaced, then that's a whole nother issue too. So
I appreciate you jumping in here because Tyler, one of the things I'll to be honest with our viewers, you are closely consuming and watching the news. Mm-hmm. We come to you for weather, but you picked up on something I had not really paid attention to, and that is that when you get a lot of people, you glean from them that could create a problem in and of itself, right?
People getting lost.
Right.
I mean, cell service, they're saying is a huge problem.
Yeah.
People that are coming in from out of town, they have no contact. Whereas the Hawkins County, I believe, they said yesterday that they have their radios that are adequate for communication.
Right.
And I can tell you, I've been on Chimney Top Mountain, but not that side of it, but the other side that everyone hikes up, and it's rough terrain.
Rough terrain. Yeah. But they do need these items. If we could show this is the web article that our Ben Gillum, one of our colleagues, put out earlier today. Search for summer. Here's how you can help. They are welcoming donations at certain locations: beef jerky, meat sticks, snacks, bug spray, deodorant. Practical stuff that you need when you're in the middle of nowhere searching. And we have these items on our website, as well as contact information and places where you can take them. And that's the Mount Carmel Free Will Baptist Church and the Hawkins County Rescue Squad.
Yeah, I would check with the Hawkins County Rescue Squad Facebook page. They may have posted another update a short while ago about what supplies they need.
Okay.
So they've been updating their Facebook page quite a bit.
Great question. Thank you so much. Shannon asking about how she reached the lock. We don't know. Apparently, it was an open door. They're saying that she went out of. Lola, we do not know about that. We've not been able to confirm any of that information about a relative who was also missing. And again, being super careful here just because we haven't been able to confirm. But your question is one many are asking tonight, certainly here on Facebook. Are they looking in other places? Not that we're aware of. We're not aware of that. Thank you, Lynn, for the question. Connor, I hope God that this is not a repeat of the other case. Yeah, Connor, we're right there with you, brother. Thank you. That's so true.
Sherry asks, why would they be in Mount Carmel and she lives in Rogersville? The church is named Mount Carmel, but it's not actually anywhere close to Mount Carmel.
Yeah.
I've always thought that was a little odd, but it's it's not in Mount Carmel. So
there's a biblical Mount Carmel. Maybe
okay,
that's it. Maybe that's it.
It's also not close to Rogersville either. I mean, it's really not.
Yeah,
close
I mean,
to,
it's a Rogersville address. That's what threw me. And they said she's from Rogersville, and I'm like, she's about 30 minutes from Rogersville.
Yeah, it's a good clip.
On a good clip. Solomon's Temple. Yeah, that's right, Miranda. Thank you. That's where the media was being staged the first night. Okay. Yeah, I see, Shannon. Thank you. Yeah, we did see there were some social media videos about her swimming, about summer swimming, and whether they've searched there, we don't know that. We don't know that. We just know they are searching in water in the area. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Amber. I appreciate it. Liz, no leads from K9, according to authorities. They've had no trail that they could speak of that they've told us about. Now, whether there is information that we don't know, I can't say at this point. Who reported she was missing? Haley asks. That would be family, according to the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office, right? And a few more questions. When the dad was talking, he said the last time her mom and I saw her alive. What a strange thing to say. I didn't catch that earlier, but I'm not questioning that what you're saying is what he said. I just did not catch that. We should go back and listen for sure. And we're going to have him on again tonight because, again, the father was at this prayer vigil in Hawkins County. Why can't the dogs pick up her scent? Well, we don't know if they have or haven't. We've just not been told that they have. And guys, I hope you understand and I hope I'm doing a good job of explaining is there come these times about once a day when we have an opportunity to ask questions of the key people in this case. And when those come, they're brief, and we only have a chance to ask a few questions, and then it's over. And what we know beyond that is what TBI puts out on social media or Hawkins County authorities on social media. Okay, guys, these are all great questions. I don't want to keep Tyler waiting any longer than I already have.
It's the big story.
It is, and I appreciate you being patient with that. Slater, how about if you wouldn't mind just looking through some of these questions, because you guys are amazing and asking great questions. But let's go back to Tyler real quick. And Tyler, while you do, I tell you what I'll do. Maybe I can pull up the weather tab and we can show Tyler with the.
Do you have the interactive radar by chance? Does that?
Hold on, it's fired up here.
That might be asking too much of the internet right now.
We're really struggling with our internet here. We don't know if it's within this building or within our service area.
I think it is because I talked to some people from like our station in Nashville earlier, and they said like everything on our website was loading fine for them.
Oh, okay. So, okay, well, look who's there, everyone. It's Tyler Allender.
Who's that?
Who's that dude?
So, yeah, the humidity's coming back for the weekend, and I want to point out I had a question here from Tabitha Collins. She asked that why is the incoming rain that's in the Gulf of Mexico being called a cyclone? I've seen this several times. How can we get a cyclone instead of a hurricane? So it's kind of a...
Okay, so I wanted to see if they were going to talk about the weather as far as it was concerning summer, like what we were researching last night on Tiffany Marie's channel. We were looking at the weather, trying to see when it rained, trying to see if the pictures that have been posted on TikTok were really posted or really took place on the day they were posted, is what we were doing. But they're not. They're talking about the weather, because that's his JOB. And that was a nice overview and recap. I liked the way that he was reporting. And I love the questions. Excellent questions. Do we know? Has anyone heard or seen in their group anything just to kind of ponder? or on the news anywhere about why there was an actual Amber Alert put out, why it was upgraded from endangered child to Amber Alert. I know that's going to take me way too many places. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to go. Let's see, it might help me. I should have been more specific. My thoughts are not. Let me think. What am I trying to say? Oops, sorry guys about the time. Thinking out loud with my nails. Let's see. Let's just ask it. Not have. I need to get my nails done and cut down. They're so long they get in the way when I try to type. But I haven't been feeling well, so I haven't wanted to go and get my nail lady sick. Oh, 'cause God knows I love me some Rose. That's my girl. She takes care of me. All right. This is what I was trying to say. Endangered child alert. In issuing an endangered child alert, the TBI notifies local media in specific regions of the state about the missing child, along with any additional available information. The TBI also uses social media to further share the relevant information. I told you guys, we matter out here. Speak on, speak on. They hear you. Beautiful. This is where my mind has gone. So we have the missing children's list, the endangered alert, the Holly Bobo Act, endangered child alert, the silver alert, and the amber alert. Okay, a lot of people haven't heard about the silver alert, and I only know from researching before, something regarding the amber alert. But the silver alert, from what I remember, does not require a license plate. That was the difference at the time, and that was, I don't know what state it was, but they could put that out without a license plate. But in this case, did we didn't get a license plate. So maybe Tennessee does it different, because I remember specifically that was the difference that I saw, and I was like, okay, got it. They can alert you, but they don't really know like exactly who the child's with or something like that. Each state has different criteria for alerts for missing individuals. Okay. TBI formed Tennessee's program based on national best practices and to provide consistency and flexibility to respond in the most appropriate way, depending on the circumstance of each case. Totally makes sense. So let's look at the silver alert in Tennessee. Give me words. What is this? I gotta click something else. Something else? Let me take a look. Oh, I can read about the Amber Alert first before we go off the page. So the TBI reserves Amber Alerts for the most serious of missing children cases, in which law enforcement believes that a child is in imminent danger. Here we go. In case anybody wants to mute me and read it for yourself, I get it. In Amber Alerts, the TBI harnesses the strengths of partner agencies, including TEMA, the Tennessee Association of Broadcasters, the National Weather Service, TDOT, and others to amplify the message of vital information about the missing child and, if available, the suspect, vehicle, and direction of travel. The TBI is the missing children's clearinghouse for the state and is the only agency in the state that can issue an Amber Alert. In order to issue an Amber Alert, the following criteria must be met. The person is 17 years of age or younger, and the child is in imminent danger of bodily injury or death, and there is a description of the child, the abductor, or vehicle, and On a request from another state for activation, there is a direct and identified nexus to the state of Tennessee, and that information is conveyed to TBI at the time of the request. Issuing an Amber Alert is not as simple as pressing a single button at TBI headquarters. Instead, it's a complex process requiring various layers of notification across Tennessee. The TBI places priority on notifying the media, the National Weather Service, TDOT, and TBI's social media audience, in an effort to quickly share information with the public at large. The TBI also works with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, NCMEC, to activate the cellular telephone network, billboards, and other secondary alert notifications. Okay, so when it's real, you get that Amber Alert. When it's really real. Let's see what we can find about the Silver Alert, though, while we're here. Just want to know. I don't know why we have to go somewhere else. Oh, goodness gracious. Whole document. Let me just breathe. Oh, okay. Interesting. For Tennessee. It's different altogether, and there's a few different. Sorry, you guys. I can't pause this. Bear with me a second. Baby sis, are you okay? Be careful. I'm recording, and I can't pause it. Feel a lot better. Okay, do me a favor. Let me just finish this because Steven has me using a new recorder, and everybody who hears this video is going to hear this conversation. So I'm going to call you back in just a little while, okay? Okay. Okay. I will. I promise. I love you. Okay. I'm sorry, you guys. Again, I can't pause this, and I wish I would stop in the middle of this video. That's my baby sister. After the live with Tina, I always want to call her Tina Marie. Girl, Tina Marie? Tiffany Marie. After the live with her, I got a Facebook Messenger message from my sister, and it just says, "Sis, I have COVID." Me and my sister are very, I'm sorry, G. Sorry about the talking. I gotta keep my webinar going because I'm multitasking. Try to cover it up. My baby sister, and we're really close, and I love her very much. So yes, I did have the nerve to answer a call during a video, but I had to make sure she's okay because she was scared. She's not, ventilator ready or anything like that. But to find out that you have a devastating virus, like COVID-19, it's scary. I can only imagine. So I needed to hear from her this morning and know she woke up and she's breathing okay. She did ask me to call her back. So the sadder part is that my little nephew Josiah and sorry, I just said his name, didn't I? I love him so much. My little nephew and my big nephew are also possibly positive. So my little nephew's a toddler. So I don't know. You just hope and pray with this thing. So again, I apologize. And let's get back to this. So the silver alert is very, very unique in itself. So it's been there a while now, so you guys can totally pause that and read it if you like. It was just more of my own studies because I know in another state what I read. It may have even been Nevada, but they do it different. The license plate in Tennessee is not mandatory for an Amber Alert. So what that means to me is that it wasn't I mean, it's not confirmed that there was a vehicle involved. See, normally we get the Amber Alert, we know the suspect, we know that license plate. And so that's what was kind of bugging me a little bit. But now we understand that's not necessary in Tennessee. Okay. So I'm going to go back to Leslie's emails. Okay. We've got one more. And this, oh, nice. Here are some pictures from a WJHL, from WJHL News of the prayer vigil that they held tonight for summer at the Rogersville First United Methodist Church. This case has me constantly looking for updates. Thanks for providing a platform of openness and love. It's felt my pleasure. And I felt that too. My pleasure, Leslie. So we see them praying. Nothing wrong with that. Pray on, pray on, pray hard, push, pray until something happens. What happens? It just gets bigger for us. Okay. Bigger, smaller, I don't know. Let's see if I can make it bigger. There we go. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen a church with like an upper balcony type of thing. Interesting. Anyway, and that's not a negative, positive, or anything like that. I'm just looking at a picture and seeing what I see out loud. In my opinion, the whole world needs to do this. Whatever you believe in, just believe real hard. That's awesome. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I had to share on summer. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Leslie. Again, thank you. Rest in peace, champ. It says here President Biden's family is grieving the loss of pet dog Champ. Man, that our pets are like our children too. Our fur babies. I got my cat right next to me now, and oh, she loves me so much. If she could talk, I know she would just say, I love you all day. That's how she acts. It's how she acts. She just wants to be so close and like, oh, I love her so much. I love the love. And I have my little pup. Oh my gosh, if she comes near me and my son's holding her and he won't like literally bring her close to me, she scrambles like crazy, like she's trying to get to food or something. She just has to get close. And then I get close and she lays her head down and you can hear the dog moan because she's so happy just to be close to you. Pets are awesome. And so are our children. Let's pray for them. Let's protect them. Love them. Teach them. Summer, baby, you're not alone. Wherever you are, I know you're not alone. Because we're all here for you.